What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so yesterday, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN First Take put out his top five most influential black athletes list. Now, to be fair, that's his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion. But if I remember his list correctly, in uh, ascending order, at he had of course, at number five, he had man, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Bill Russell. At number four, he had Venus and Serena Williams all together. At number three, I think he had Oscar Robertson. At number two, Jackie Robinson. At number one, Muhammad Ali. Now I don't have a problem with any of those persons on the list, except for Venus and Serena Williams. Like maybe I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here, but I get the impression that he's trying to pander to, what I'm saying, the female crowd with that one. When you look at the fact that he's been accused of not giving props to black female athletes, Monica McNutt, for example, the last time she would appeared on First Take, maybe I think he's pandering to that crowd with that pick. I'm not saying that Serena and Venus Williams shouldn't be on a list. I just don't know if they're top five. I think that's way too high. That's just my opinion, okay? But if you're trying to expand it to a top 25, then yeah, I think they'll be on that list. If you're talking about top 25, because to be honest with you, if you're talking about black female tennis players, how did they go in front of Althea Gibson? How? Althea Gibson was the black female pioneer, playing in the first. I think she won the first black Wimbledon, if I'm not mistaken. Or I know she won the first black. She was the first black female to win a major tennis championship. I can't remember if it was Wimbledon or not. I'm not a huge tennis person, but I do know about Althea Gibson because she was who she is who we were learning about when I was a kid. And she went through real racism, okay? Real deal Jim Crow racism. She grew up in the Deep South. Her family migrated to, I think, New York, if I'm not mistaken. She had a violent upbringing. You know what I'm saying? I believe she was involved in gang activity or something to that effect. I'm a little bit fuzzy with her, but I know she had a violent upbringing, especially with her father. I think he was very violent. She found tennis, and she excelled in tennis. And she's one of the best female tennis players, period. Not black female tennis players. She's one of the great female tennis players of all time. And she was a pioneer. And I don't know how you put the Williams sisters ahead of her if you're talking about influential black activism. I don't get that. But that's just my opinion. Also, you can make a case that Colin Kaepernick should be on this list. If you're talking about an expanded list, I'm not talking about top five, but Colin Kaepernick should be mentioned. But we know Stephen A. Smith has this unexplained disdain for Colin Kaepernick for some reason. But I mean, to me, if I was going to do a top five list, Muhammad Ali would be up there. I think number two probably would be Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, definitely those three. Number four and five, maybe Bill Russell, and maybe Oscar. But like I said, it's very difficult because there's so many different candidates for these lists. You can put Jesse Owens up there. You know, uh, you can definitely put Jesse Owens up there. Um, but yeah, I think if you could do a top five, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, and Oscar Robertson, that would be my list. Like I said, I think a lot of people tend to suffer from recency bias. And I just don't understand how you put people today from today's sports world and today's culture ahead of those who were pioneers in the era where black people were actively fighting for civil rights. How do you do that? How do you put the Williams sisters ahead of Althea Gibson? I just don't understand that. How do you put anybody from the modern era ahead of people from the civil rights era? It just makes no damn sense unless they've been putting in some real work. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, especially, they put in real work. How the hell do you put these modern people ahead of them? Makes no sense. It's really like you just catering to a demographic, you're catering to your fans, you're catering to your audience with these picks. I think another person that comes to mind now in the tennis world would be Arthur Ashe. I would put Arthur Ashe ahead of them. But like I said, Stephen A. Smith was entitled to his opinion, but I don't know. I just had a problem with the Williams sisters being that high on that list, and I think that's really just him pandering, honestly. And it has nothing to do with who they're married to or none of that. I don't care about any of that. Hell, some of the Kareem married a white woman, didn't he? So it's not about that. It's just when you say influential, do you mean their cultural impact? They've had a great cultural impact. They have, the Williams sisters. But I don't know. I just have a problem with them being ahead of Althea Gibson. If there was no Althea Gibson, then I would feel more comfortable with that. Hell, you can make a case for Tiger Woods if that's what we're talking about. If we're just talking about impact as far as dominating in a sport that had previously been dominated by white people or whatever you want to call it, hell, I think uh, Tiger Woods has a case ahead of them because, like I said, it you know how most of us feel about Tiger Woods, but it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, and I don't know. I don't think they should be ahead of Althea Gibson. Maybe that's how I look at it. Tell me what you guys think.